Hello, learner. Before you is Niwamanya Moses, a teacher of English at Mbara Junior School, Mbara City in Western Region. I'm very delighted to be with you in this session, of which I think you're going to enjoy it to the fullest. The content I want us to handle within this session, it's in third term, that is the topic, which is hotels. And I understand from our experience, we must have visited a number of hotels. Even what we do at our homes as we take our meals, or what is done within that process, we shall also meet it within here, our hotels. And within our hotels here, we have the content that we shall handle, that is speeches. To take you somehow back in first term, that is in debating, we also looked at speeches. So I understand that this time our work is going to be easy. So I call upon you to give me your attention, and then we go through this session. To take you within these speeches, I just want to start with this situation whereby a teacher of mathematics left the lesson and left the learners at random. In their free time, some two stubborn boys started playing with a ruler, of which a ruler like this. Accidentally, the two boys, as they were playing, they broke it into parts. As another lesson came in, that was English, of course, the teacher found the pieces in front. Had to ask, who has done this? One of the most disciplined pupils had to answer. Teacher, you know, it's Jocelyn and Clever. The kid reported. Then from there, the teacher got to know what happened in his absence. What am I driving to? At this time, we want to look at reported speech. In respect to what the learner reported to the teacher. The teacher wasn't there, but the teacher came to know what happened. So when we are dealing with reported speech, we have got a number of changes that we shall meet. So I want you to give me your attention, and we go through those changes and we get to know. To mention them, we've got tense changes, we've got adverb changes, we've got pronoun changes, and also I mentioned adverb changes, tense changes, pronoun changes. Now, within those changes that we are going to see, when it is in direct speech, once you change it to indirect speech, we must meet those changes. So give me your attention, and we go through what I'm putting here. So when you try to see here, we have reported speech and we have tense changes in reported speech. We have the two columns here, that is the direct speech and the indirect speech. The indirect speech, we can also call it the reported speech. When we have a direct speech, and once it is in present simple tense, when you're changing it to a reported speech, now the tense changes to past simple, as we shall see in the examples. Then once we have the present continuous, of course this is the tense we use when talking about something that is happening, that is in progressive tense. We change it to past continuous tense. Then we have present perfect tense, whereby the present perfect tense changes to past perfect. Then we have the present perfect continuous. whereby the present perfect continuous changes to past perfect continuous. I want you to follow me very well. Then we have the past simple. The past simple here changes to the past perfect. We also got the past continuous, whereby past continuous tense changes to past perfect continuous tense, or can remain in that very past continuous. Then we have the future tense, the future simple, which changes to conditional would. In this case, I want just to pick within the tense changes, just I pick an example of present simple. Present simple. Present simple. I may say, she said. She said. What am I trying to do here? This is what we call a speech tag. Within here, we shall now have the actual words, or the ones we call the said words. She said. I want now to form a sentence in present simple tense. That is, Jane visits the restaurant on Sundays. You come and put a full stop, then you close. Make sure that the full stop is outside the close quotation mark. So our sentence here is, she said, Jane visits the restaurant on Sundays. Now, here, basing on our table here, we say that the present simple changes to past simple. So we shall now come and see what is our main verb within our sentence here. That is visits. Meaning that if we say that the present simple changes to past simple, we shall now go and have our visits changing to visited. Then within this case, we shall have what we call the joining word, which will be that. Now, at this case, we are trying to report what this pronoun she said to someone that maybe was not there. Therefore, now we shall come and say, she said that. Now we bring our joining word here. She said that Jane visited the restaurant on Sundays. I beg your pardon. She said that Jane visited the restaurant on Sundays. She said that Jane visited the restaurant on Sundays. So this will be a reported speech of which it has been got from this direct speech. To take you through the adverb changes, whereby we have here changes to there, now changes to then, today changes to that day, tomorrow changes to the following day or the next day. Then we have yesterday changes to the previous day or the day before. Even we have some other changes under adverb changes, but we may not exhaust them within this time here. Then to add more on the changes, here we also have pronoun changes, where we have we changes to they, I or me changes to he, she, or him or her. Meaning that where we have me, we shall have there him or her. Then we have this changes to that or the. Now, I want you to get me properly here. When I say this changes to that or the, now, we have an instance whereby when we find that this pronoun this is not followed by an expression of time. When I talk of an expression of time here, I mean morning, evening, yes, maybe Sunday. Now, at that time here, we shall now change this to the. For example, if now it is saying that this book, if you are now you're reporting, maybe say, Jen said, she writes well in this book. Therefore, now this book will now change to the, because it is not followed by an expression of time. What changes to an expression of, when this changes to an expression of time, that's when it is having either morning, afternoon, like that. So that's why you see me having that and the. Then we have these changes to those, us to them, your to their, that's when you're dealing with plural, his or her, that's when you're dealing with singular. Then you have our changes to their, you can have you when you are referring to you as one, when we are referring to a boy, he, she, that's a girl. Then we also when we are referring to this you when you are referring to a group of people, and even you when you are referring to an individual. Then we also have what we call verb changes, whereby we have come changes to go. In this case, you find that someone is saying that the teacher said, come here. Now, when you're reporting, if the teacher said, come here, for you, you're reporting, and maybe you're reporting what someone has said, you will not say that come there, because here it changes to there. You can't say come, not so you'll say the teacher said that you go there. I get you. I think you get me well. Then you have bring, changes to take. Of course, bring here, take there. Then is or am changes to was, and are changes to were. So within these changes, that's why I first brought these changes. I understand that if you get them very well, they will automatically help you to deal with all the changes that we shall meet when you are reporting different statements. Now, allow me take you through these somehow detailed examples. I have examples here. We are saying that she said. Now, you put a comma, you open quotation marks. Now, these words are the words of the speaker. This is these are the said words. These are the speech tag. Now, here are the said words. Now, when we are dealing with reported speech, we have to make sure that we keep on highlighting. That's why when you try to see here, I have highlighted some of the changes that I must make. That's why I have is. I also have here now. Now, this takes us back to our changes. Do you really still remember those changes that we have looked at? It's a food for thought. Now, we have here is changes to was, now changes to then, and don't forget the joining word. Now, and at that point now, we shall come out with our sentence, which is, she said that the cashier was very busy then. Try to master our changes, my dear. Then, example 2. We also have where we report questions based on what someone was after. Now, we are here saying that, what do you want? Asked the receptionists. What do you want? Asked the receptionists. Now, here, the receptionists, maybe you entered the restaurant or the hotel and they had to ask you, what do you want? Now, here we have our want changing to wanted. Then you can either change it to he, she, or we. And within these, we shall now develop in some other pronouns. I think you're going to see. Then the joining word. Here, when we are reporting questions, as we looked at it in in the first phase of in debating, we saw that when you are reporting questions, the questioning word becomes that very joining word. Now, our questioning word here is what? Now, here, that's why you have our joining word is what. Unlike here, when we have that, of which that becomes the joining word. But when we are reporting questions, we said that the joining word becomes that very questioning word. Now, here we shall come out with our answer as the receptionists asked us, meaning that here you change it to we. That's why I've brought in us. If I told the receptionists asked him, meaning that here it would be he. If I told the receptionists asked her, here it will be she. So the receptionists asked asked us what we wanted, meaning that you're reporting what the receptionists asked. Now, before we take our exercise here, I just want you to now to make a breathe in and breathe out. Make your environment clean, suitable for you. To make a flashback and see all the changes that we have seen, we've gone through. What I know, if you give it all your time, I understand you will not have any issues with reported speech. Now, I just feel like you get your book and a pen. At this time, get your book and a pen and take this question here. It's an assignment of which I expect to get the responses within the comment section. The question goes, construct 5 sentences. Construct 5 sentences in reported or indirect speech. I beg your pardon. Construct 5 sentences in reported or indirect speech. In this, when we come for the next session, I expect we shall all have the assignment right.